Yesterday I discussed this reading comprehension. What reading comprehension means, what are the objectives of reading comprehension. Today I am going to detail the methods which you are expected to adopt while comprehending a passage. There are a few techniques that you must adopt while comprehending a passage. The passages which will be asked in your examination will be either factual or descriptive or literary. So by factual passage, I mean these passages will be related to some instructions in that passage. Some instructions may be given, some description may be there, something may be reported there. So these are the areas of factual passage. The second one is descriptive. Descriptive passage may be argumentative in nature, it may be persuasive or it may be interpretative. I think this word persuasive may be new for you, unknown to you. Persuasive, persuasion, the verb persuasion means, to persuade means to convince someone by your own opinion, to convince someone in a very polite way so that he could agree to your opinion. So such passages are called persuasive. So they will be very much polite. There will not be any harsh approach. Interpretative, something will be interpreted in one's own way. So this is interpretative passage. Again literary, the third one is literary, that is extracts may be taken from a fiction, drama, poetry, any essay or biography. So extracts taken from these literary genres fall under the category of literary passages. So these are the types of passages which will be asked in your examination. As far as the length of passage is concerned, in my previous class I have already told you, once again I do repeat, that for standard 11, the length of the passage will be the length of two passages. First two passages will be 600 to 750 words, and for standard 12, the length of two passages will be 700 to 750 words. This is for standard 12. So mind it that this year the length of passage has also been reduced. It is somewhat easier for you. But don't take the reading comprehension very much casual as you have been taking. So this requires your special attention, not only from the examination point of view, but even in your day-to-day life. So now I am going to discuss a few techniques which you are expected to adopt while comprehending a passage. How to comprehend a passage? Everybody will have his own comprehending level. So there are few techniques which are expected to be adopted while comprehending a passage, while going through a passage. So let me detail it. First of all, you have to go through the passage once without stopping anywhere in between the passage. सबसे पहले पैसेज जो भी सामने आता हो उसको बिना रुके हुए लगातार बढ़ते जाना है. You must come across difficult words because the passage is unseen. There may be some difficult words. There may be some other difficulties that you find while reading, but don't stop, just go on reading the first reading. This is called the skimming. Go through the passage without stopping without stopping. The first thing, this is in order to, this is done in order to get a general idea of the passage. This is called a skimming. A skimming a passage. This is called a skimming a passage. That you go through the passage without stopping, without bothering for the difficult words, and after you go through the passage, you come to know what the passage is about. This is called a skimming the passage. So there are two terms, a skimming and a scanning. So a skimming is made in order to get a general idea, aims at getting a general idea, and the second, scanning the passage aims at getting some specific idea. A specific idea. So a skimming of the passage aims at getting a general idea, and a scanning of the passage aims at getting some specific points. So these two are the very important practices while you go through a passage. A skimming and a scanning. I think these two terms, a skimming and a scanning are very much clear to you. A skimming means to get a general idea of the passage. A scanning means to get some specific idea of the passage. So go through the passage without stopping. The second thing you do is to encircle the difficult words. Encircle the difficult words and relate them to the succeeding, relate them to the preceding and succeeding lines in order to get its meaning. See, this is also a very important exercise. You must come across the difficult words. Now you are supposed to encircle the difficult words and try to relate these difficult words with the context, with the preceding and succeeding line, पहले वाला line और बाद वाला line. मतलब you are supposed to relate the difficult words with the context in order to reach at an approximate meaning. So this will also help you in eliminating the repetition of ideas. When you do this practice, it will help you in eliminating repetition of ideas and reach out at a possible meaning. So the third thing that you have to do, now this is also very important. See, now what you have to do is to read the questions now and once again go through the passage in the background of the questions you have read. Once again, listen to me very carefully. That now you have to give the second reading of the passage against the background of the questions that you have read right now. Now read the questions and give a second reading of the passage in the background of the questions you have read. So this reading, the second reading, may be in parts also. Suppose you get the answer of a question, you locate a particular idea, some particular lines, you just encircle them, you just underline them. So this second reading may be in parts also. This is also called a bottom up reading, जहां हम 20 से भी अपने क्वेश्चन का अगर आंसर हमको पहले दिख गया तो हम 20 से ही पढ़ लेंगे, उस क्वेश्चन का आंसर ले लिया. अगेन जनरली द आंसर्स ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस आर फाउंड इन द पैसेज इन द ऑर्डर दे आर इन क्वेश्चंस. तो जो क्वेश्चन जिस ऑर्डर में होता है जनरली उसी ऑर्डर में आंसर भी होता है. सो अगर 20 से इफ यू फाइंड द आंसर टू सम क्वेश्चन इन द मिडिल ऑफ द पैसेज दैट इज वेरी मच क्लियर, you may come down You may go up in the passage. So this is also called bottom-up reading. So this is also a very important practice while you try to comprehend a passage. Now, you are just expected to be precise and be precise and to the point. You are also expected to answer the questions in the corresponding tense. Corresponding tense. By corresponding tense, I mean that you are expected to answer in that very form of the tense the question is asked. This is applicable only where you are supposed to answer or supposed to give a short answer to some questions, but this year it is not so. So it is not applicable in MCQs. MCQs are quite different. Then give. So if you are supposed to give a title or if you have to look for a title, generally the title of the passage is hidden in the beginning or in the end. But as far as the MCQs are concerned, you need not do so. So now just give a revision, revise your answer and get them compared to the relevant facts in the passage. So by adopting these techniques, you can comprehend a passage quite easily. So apart from the techniques I have discussed, you may develop your own ways, you may develop your own techniques as well. And certainly the techniques that you develop for yourself will be more useful to you than what I have suggested you. But unless you develop your own techniques, your own way of comprehending a passage, you must adopt these techniques. So in this way, how to comprehend a passage we have discussed, we have finished it, and now I recommend you to do at least 5 passages or 6 passages, 2 from each type, 2 factual, 2 descriptive and 2 literary from any sample paper, so that you could have a confidence in you, so that you could relate these techniques with your own and reach a satisfactory level. Okay, thank you very much.